By this point, you might already know that Jimmy Kimmel is back with his show. It has been more than 22 years. I understand. I didn't know it was that long, but well, it so happens that he's back, so there's no dictatorship in the United States, I guess. But he came with an apology for what he said about, the assassination of Charlie Kirk. And, well, let's see if this passes this smell test. And I can imagine that you already made your mind about this. You still don't like Jimmy Kimmel, but it's always useful to go through the steps to see the tips and tricks and, sneaky ways manipulative personalities can try to use or guilt trip you into, oh, they are really sorry for what they did. So let's see what's going on here. There's this huge introduction about how he's coming back. He's grateful for coming back, and then it comes the apology part. That is, this one starts this way.
I have no illusions about changing anyone's mind, but I do want to make something clear because it's important to me as a human, and that is, you understand that it was never my intention to make light of the murder of a young man.
Okay, so it was impressive. I have to say, it was impressive that it was almost on cue that when he was going to start the apology, that's exactly when he broke. Not like a few seconds before, not a few seconds after. It was right on cue. It's like he had that on the teleprompter. I mean, I can maybe give him a pass because, well, he knew that he was about to talk about the topic, but at the same time, that was the topic that started it all. And I want to talk about, well, what happened with the FCC and Jimmy Kimmel at the same time, because that is important. What the current state of affairs in the United States and the tension and the temperature, and how, Jimmy Kimmel did not help with this word. So he was trying to be sorry.
And that is, you understand that it was never my intention to make light of the murder of a young man. I don't.
So crowd applauding. His voice breaks. His eyes are water. Maybe he is sorry. He has actually sorry. It looks like it, but let's continue watching.
I don't think there's anything funny about it. I posted a message on Instagram on the day he was killed, sending love to his family and asking for compassion, and I meant it, and I still do.
Well, to be fair, I went to his Instagram, and yes, the post is already there. It's still there. It was not just a story that just disappeared. No, this was something that he posted, and you can still see on his Instagram. Instead of the angry finger pointing, can we just for one day agree that it is horrible and monstrous to shoot another human? On behalf of my family, we send love to the Kirks and to all the children, parents, and innocents who fall victim to senseless gun violence. And, well, yes, nobody could know on September 10, the very day that Charlie was shot, who was responsible for this. And nobody had any idea. We have to be fair with this. But then we continue, and, well, it begins to get kind of worse from this point onwards.
Nor was it my intention to blame any specific group for the actions of what it was obviously a deeply disturbed individual.
Hey, wait a second. This is what I have some trouble with. Nor what is my intention to blame any specific group for the action of what was obviously a deeply disturbed individual. Jimmy, I have your words. Have your own words. I'm gonna play this. This is in black and white. We are reminiscing. We are remembering what really happened and what got Jimmy canceled.
We had some new lows over the weekend with the MAGA gang desperately trying to characterize this kid who murdered Charlie Kirk as anything other than one of them, and doing everything they can to score political points from it.
Yeah, MAGA is trying to characterize this kid as anything other than one of their own camp. I think it's pretty much on point. Like he was claiming that MAGA was trying to score points over this. And what did he say with his apology?
Nor was it my intention to blame any specific group for the actions of what it was obviously a deeply disturbed individual.
Was 100% your intention, Jimmy. Just said that yourself, please. If I hate something more than people being, snake, is to not standing by their words. I mean, you should at least, if you're going to apologize, an actual apology, is that you have to acknowledge what you did. And Jimmy Kimmel did not do even the bare minimum and saying that, yes, I was wrong. I made a mistake. I said this. No, he's trying to make you think that he didn't say what he said, which is, for me, the lowest of the lowest scum. I know it was my intention, but he says the mega gang desperately trying to paint the shooter of anything other than one of them. This is very clear. You said that, and you're not acknowledging it. We already, you notice it. You notice it. This is important when you are having conversations in your daily life and you are with a manipulator, somebody who wants to guilt trip you or make some kind of apology, and you, hey, this is not passing the smell test. And now you know that, yeah, they need to acknowledge what they did. They have to be clear of what they did. They have to be clear of how that affected you. And yes, acknowledge that they did it and they were wrong, because otherwise there's no apology. There's just empty words of some tears and all this such. Oh, you know, this is again textbook manipulation. But let's see if he can salvage some of his apology in the next clips.
That was really the opposite of the point I was trying to make, but
I don't know what is the opposite of the point that we are trying to make. That sentence doesn't make sense. As in, you said that it was MAGA, the shooter was MAGA, and that was the opposite of the point that you were trying to make. I don't know, what was the point that you were trying to make? Huh?
I understand that to some that felt either ill-timed or unclear.
Notice this is usually manipulators speak. Some of you felt, you felt that my words were harsh. You felt that it was ill-timed. You felt that it was unclear. It was you. The blame is on you who misinterpreted my words. Oh, you felt like this. It's so bad. It's so, again, this is manipulation. This is just plain manipulation. That they're putting the blame on you. No. I know what I said, and people just got it completely wrong. But we have the receipts. No, this is just another snake. But wait, there's more.
And for those who think I did point a finger, I get why you're upset. If the situation was reversed, there's a good chance I'd have felt the same way.
If the situation was reversed, there's a good chance I have felt the same way. I like the way that he, in this sentence, I am not going to say that he's lying. Maybe he's telling the truth. I'm going to give him an opportunity to say the truth. But notice how he structures this sentence. If the situation was reversed, there's a good chance I'd have felt the same way. Don't you notice that is something like, it's extra here that could be removed? I mean, if somebody was being truthful or sincere, they would say, if the situation was reversed, I'd have felt the same way. When he gets there's a good chance, all right, so at the same time, there's some chance that no, I won't have felt the same way. You understand, right? If somebody is sincere, okay, if the situation was reversed, I have felt the same way. Right? No, he had to put in there some sneaky words to, it's like water down there's a statement. Again, that's manipulative speak. They are vague. It is you who felt that my words were wrong. I know I didn't say that when they actually said that, when we have receipts of what they say. What else can I say? But we have way more examples of this that you can learn for your daily life. And here,
the other side, who I love and remain close to, even though we don't agree on politics at all, I don't think the murderer who shot Charlie Kirk represents anyone.
Notice this is a Bill Mayerism. I'm going to use that word from now on. This is a Bill Mayerism. What is a Bill Mayerism? It's very easy. It's very simple when you think about it. A Bill Mayerism, of course, done by Bill Mayer all the time, is that this, I don't think the murderer who shot Charlie Kirk represents anyone. As in, no, this is completely gray. We don't know where he came from. No, not in the fact that there is literal proof that he was radicalized by a trans furry terrorist cell. And you know which party, let's say, promotes that kind of depravity. So it's, again, a way of, oh yeah, no, it's, I don't think the murderer who shot Charlie Kirk represents anyone. I think we should calm down. We should come down. We should unite. This is one person. This shooter. He's trying to put the shooter, since he cannot tell the truth, and this is the problem with these people. The problem with the left is that they know the moment they try to tell the truth on anything, they are just putting, the blame on themselves. So, since he cannot tell the truth of where this guy, the shooter, comes from, he has to say that, oh, no, we are all united, right and left, conservatives, liberals. This shooter, has nothing to do with any of us, right? Right? Again, a way of trying to backtrack on his words, a way to try to pull the blame off himself. Very sneaky, right?
This was a sick person who believed violence was a solution, and it isn't.
Empty words to reinforce the previous statement.
This show is not important. What is important is that we get to live in a country that allows us to have a show like this.
So he begins to talk about free speech, which is important, which in some sense, it was the FCC chair. I mean, what happened, I checked the timeline. It was he made that, that's not even a joke. That was an actual statement that MAGA, he was literally saying that the shooter was MAGA, right? He said that. So Brendan Carr, the FCC chair, went on Breitbart and he, said that it's like a poorly veiled threat. He said a poorly veiled threat that ABC had to do something about this. And I think that was the problem. I think that was a mistake. I think that was an unforced error by somebody who was appointed by Trump. Because I think that people have the right to say this kind of stuff and, have an actual backlash and feedback of the people and leave it to the private company to say if, they're going to continue with Jimmy Kimmel or not. What Brendan Carr, the FCC chair, did was an unforced error. You know what they say? When your enemy or your opponent is making a mistake, do not interrupt them. That was a stupid move. I have to say it. One has to. I have told you many times that we need to let these people talk, because more and more people will realize the nonsense. In fact, that is the spirit of what Charlie Kirk did. He let people talk. He invited people to talk very publicly, so more and more people realize that, all right, what the left is saying makes no sense. It is depraved. It is against common sense. It's not right. So, we're going to continue just because he included a lot more manipulation in this. So this video is going to be a bit longerish than usual, but believe me, this is worth it, so you can learn how to spot this kind of manipulation.
And that's something I'm embarrassed to say I took for granted until they pulled my friend Steven off the air.
So he begins to talk about Colbert and how the government is coercing all this, and this is un-American, this is so dangerous. Again, if Brendan Carr hadn't said those words, this wouldn't have happened. There would have been a backlash, and maybe that public backlash would have forced Jimmy Kimmel off the air, although who really cares at this point? I think Jimmy Kimmel himself said that. Some people like him, some people don't like him, and that's not going to change, regardless of what the body language guy says, regardless of what Jimmy Kimmel says. I think we can agree on that. Okay, that is simply a fact. So it's like giving him ammunition. Brendan Carr actually gave Jimmy Kimmel ammunition to criticize the Trump administration. That's what I tell you. That was an unforced error. Don't interrupt your opponent when they're making a mistake. But there's other things, and because he gets to mention and take the mantle of Erica Kirk.
I want you to think about this. Should the government be allowed to raise?
Okay, he keeps talking about free speech. Why does the government regulate podcasts, whatever? Again, the ammunition of the unforced error. And then he says this.
You think that sounds crazy? No! 10 years ago, this sounded crazy. Brendan Carr, the chairman of the FCC.
Okay, he says about Brendan Carr, what happened. But there's one clip that I want to, it's very important.
Our leader celebrates Americans losing their livelihoods because he can't take a joke.
Okay, wait a second. This is Trump celebrating people losing their jobs because he can't take a joke. Again, I'm not going to replay the black and white section. You already saw it twice. That was not a joke. That was a statement because, well, that was not funny at all. A joke is supposed to be funny. And Jimmy Kimmel gives statements and he jokes as well. In this very monologue, he has a combination of both. So that was not a joke. So he is trying to mislead again you into thinking that, oh, I was canceled because Trump couldn't take a joke, which is false. Okay, so that's on Jimmy Kimmel.
We do agree on a lot of things. We agree on keeping our children safe from guns, from reproductive rights for women.
I wanted to include this clip of, we agree that we want our children safe from gun violence, where reproductive rights for women, abortion. That is left speak for abortion. But then here comes this.
I don't know if you saw this. On Sunday, Erica Kirk forgave the man who shot her husband. She forgave him. That is an example we should follow.
And his voice breaks again. He's trying to borrow Erica Kirk's. It's something that I cannot describe. I don't have the words to describe what Erica Kirk did on Sunday. I'm going to make a video about her, by the way, about that moment. It was so touching. And, well, let me borrow some of that. Oh, we should be more like Erica Kirk. We should be more like that. That is borrowing cloud. And this is my favorite part.
If you believe in the teachings of Jesus, as I do,
he says that he believes in the teachings of Jesus, but he just said, like less than 1 minute ago, that he's up for abortion. How does that work? I mean, I don't know how that does work. I don't understand. I want somebody to explain that to me. Again, these people contradict themselves in the same monologue, and there's something that we cannot avoid. There will be people who just love Jimmy Kimmel, and that is not going to change. But it is important to not make unforced errors when they are saying whatever they want to say. That's why I said Kamala Harris should be able to say whatever she wants. AOC, Jasmine Crockett, so people can decide for themselves. And if you're crazy and you think that these people are brilliant and funny and are the real heroes of the United States, nobody can do anything for you.
There it was. That's it. A selfless act of grace, forgiveness from a grieving widow. It touched me deeply.
What more manipulation do you want from this? I mean, and I condense these little snippets of this monologue, and you see all the ways he was trying to manipulate the public. It was baffling. I had to share this video with you. I had to make this video. And maybe again, you might not like Jimmy Kimmel. I know that he was lying, but it's so important to understand all the ways and deconstruct the ways that he was lying or misleading or misrepresenting or trying to borrow clout from other people, so you can spot that in your daily life. That's my real mission as the body language guy.
And if there's anything we should take from this tragedy to carry forward, I hope it can be that, not this. So thank you for listening.
Okay, and thank you for we're coming back, blah, blah, blah. So again, this is the perfect example. How, well, number one, we need to be careful with how we react. I have to say, I'm not perfect. And sometimes I can react in ways that can be way too, say, spontaneous. And yes, I had to retract myself. And sometimes I'd say that I was wrong. I made mistakes. Something that can happen. But when you have responsibilities at that level, like the FCC chair, you have to be careful what you say, because again, it's like giving your opponents free ammunition to attack you, and you don't want that. So most of the time, it's usually a better idea to just, be a bit quiet about that. Maybe that will be the best strategy, and let them just, sink themselves. But I would like to know what you think about this in the comments. My name is Jesus Enrique Rosas. I'm the body language guy. Much love and bliss.